Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Devex's coverage of the World Health Assembly for 2021. My name is Vince Chadwick. I'm the Brussels correspondent for Devex, and this is my favourite time of year because I get to catch up with our global health reporter, Jenny Lee Ravelo, who many of you will know as the author of our Checkup newsletter. Jenny keeps an eye on the World Health Organization all year round. And so she and I are going to be having a brief chat this morning to just introduce what we're doing over the week. We've got 3 days of events planned for you today, tomorrow and Thursday. And then we've got a special pro event next Tuesday where we're really going to try and dig into the main debates around this year's assembly. Over those 3 days, we've got speakers from the World Health Organization, the Gates Foundation, and others. All of the information is on our website, so I won't get into that now. Today, we've got a set of really great discussions. We're covering mRNA technology, whether it's a game changer for global health, as many have discussed. We're looking at the role of data with our partners at Novartis. And we're also looking at the recommendations of the famous, I almost said infamous, Jenny will tell us how infamous they are, the independent panel on what lessons we can learn from the COVID crisis for global health. And Jenny, I guess a question for you. I'm a reporter who typically covers the EU institutions, and so I was kind of moonlighting as a global health reporter last Friday. We're following the Global Health Summit, which was, heads of state and others getting together to think about vaccine equity and things like that. And one of the things that struck me as Helen Clark, and who we'll hear from shortly, and others spoke, was that there's actually been a lot of independent panels, or seemingly a lot of different recommendations coming out of this crisis. And a question I was looking forward to posing to you is, how are we going to discern the difference between those recommendations that are really going to have an impact in the coming, weeks and months, and those that are going to go in a cabinet somewhere in Geneva and never be heard from again?
Well, hi, everyone. And thank you, Vince, for that great question. Well, I think that's what everyone's been asking, really. Which of the many recommendations, coming out of this crisis, that includes the recommendations of the independent panel, is going to be taken forward by countries? So right now they're discussing at the World Health Assembly, right, a pandemic treaty. But for today, we actually have a panel that's going to be doing a deep dive on the recommendations of the independent panel for pandemic preparedness and response. Really focusing on how can we take forward, how can we accelerate some of these recommendations. But we also will be starting before that a conversation with Helen Clark, of course, the co-chair of the independent panel, to talk about some of the recommendations.
I'm looking forward to this. One of the things that Helen Clark said on Friday in her pre-prepared remarks was that there should be a one-term limit for the Director General of the World Health Organization for 7 years. And many people have said that this year, whatever Dr. Tedros does will be viewed through the prism of his potential re-election efforts. You're someone who follows global health quite closely. What did you make of that recommendation? Is that new, or is that something we've heard before?
I think there's been some recommendations before like that, but what the different experts have been saying was that, this is, at least in their view, this is going to at least take off some of the political, pressure for the Director General, interference in terms of the work, and make sure that the decisions of the WHO DG is going to be independent of the countries. But, it's a question of whether that's actually going to be taken out, really, even if you extend the term of the Director General.
It's a really interesting one, and I wished I had a chance to ask the question at the press conference on Friday about what the leaders would have made of that, but perhaps we'll have a chance in the future. But for now, let's begin with your conversation with Helen Clark. Looking forward to it.